Hey everyone, this is Ken Westerfeld, and I'd like to share these memories of fluking in the western Long Island Sound. I grew up in College Point, Queens, New York City, and that sits on the side of Flushing Bay and the East River, just about where those bodies of water meet the westernmost Long Island Sound. So all my life, my family kept a boat, and I'm no stranger to the water. And it was in about 1994 where I really started getting serious with fishing and fishing with friends in their boats around the area and getting to learn the area. And I would guide friends to, good catches in certain places, and as time went on, I learned more and more and went further and further into the Sound and down the East River and expanded my area of knowledge and gained more and more places to fish. So it was in 1998 when I bought this boat. It was my first bay skiff, and it was very fuel efficient with a Yamaha C60 on the back. I could run all day and burn maybe 12 gallons of gas. And I ran far and wide with this boat. It's a very sheltered body of water. You can always find a place out of the wind. And the fishing was great. The fluke fishing was so good. I really believed that I could set my watch by it year after year. And it seemed to get better and better, even though they increased the size limits and decreased the bag limits repeatedly. I think when I started fishing, it was a 14-inch minimum size with 8 fish as the creel, and that continued to change over time. I think it went from there to 15, and then 15 and a half, and then 17, and then I think it went right to 20 and a half one year. Then it was 21, and then it started to come back down again. So a lot of changes have occurred, and I'll tell you what, it wouldn't have mattered because year after year we saw plenty of fluke in our waters here in the Western Sound, and I just never thought that it was a fishery that would disappear. But sadly, in recent years, it seems very much like that's exactly what's happening. And last season, I only got out a couple times with friends locally, and we were only able to locate some very small shorts and not that many of them. I remember days where maybe I didn't have keepers, but I caught shorts until I was content until my arms could have fallen off. I mean, literally days catching and releasing 80 or 100 fish. And I mean, it was really prolific, and we had great size at times too. Many days I liken to the quality of fluke fishing in Montauk. Certainly, I never had any double digits here myself, but I landed fish up to around 8 pounds, and I know that there were definitely double digits caught in the area because I followed the reports from the Fisherman Magazine and the local tackle shops, and there were definitely 10, 11, 12, 13, even a 14 pounder I remember being weighed in, and those were good times. One day I weighed a fish at the Throgs Neck Bridge for a guy on another boat, and he was astounded at the size, and I had my digital scale, and it was like 9 3/4 pounds. It was a beautiful fish. So, yeah, I mean, some of the best fluke fishing I'd ever done in my life was like right here between the Whitestone and Throgs Neck bridges, believe it or not. And I had unbelievable action and beautiful quality fluke. And these last couple of years, it's really hard to figure out, like, where could they have gone? What's happened to them? Um, they just don't seem to be around. It's a sad state of affairs, but this was my second boat. I had a 22-foot trophy center console with a 200 Mercury on the back. And that cost a little bit more to run, but it was very comfortable, and I certainly did catch some fluke on it. But it wasn't like the earlier years in my little privateer, boy. Those were some really great times. And I don't know what's going on. Um, it's hard to figure out. I wish somebody would. But I would love to see this fishery come back to, some form of its former self. It would be an amazing thing, and I would certainly welcome that with great joy. Yeah, so that's it. This is the area I grew up in. This is the area that I learned how to do all my angling, and from there I've expanded it, taken it far and wide, and had to travel great distances to find this quality of fishing again. Um, Certainly, I would keep a boat here today if I thought that the quality of the fishing was really worthwhile, but sadly, it's not. I mean, who wants to travel all that way when you can have great fishing right in your own backyard, right? So, something to consider for the future. I mean, my daughter is getting older, and I hope to have her out on the water more as she gets older and she's able to handle a day out on the boat and, pull on those bigger fish herself. And I hope she has fish to catch in the future. I mean, I have so many great memories, and this is such a great area. It's really beautiful in its own right. And that's it. So uh, I'm sorry if this leaves you as glum as it does me in a way, but I hope that there is still a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So thanks for watching, and this is Ken saying take care, see you soon, tight lines.